The famous author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, and the millionaire businessman, Ken McClory, talked about whether there is going to be a housing market crash in 2021 and what are the signs and indicators that predict a housing market crash. They also explain how we can be prepared for it. Robert said that there are all kinds of things going on in real estate these days, but it will eventually crash simply because the government is making it so expensive to build a house. This is so screwed up, but that's what happens when the government steps in and they kick capitalists out and then the socialist. But anyway, that's why savers are losers today. So the Fed just announced that they are going to keep interest rates involved for about 5 more years. But that means this generation is screwed because Wells Fargo is not going to pay dividends anymore for pensions to operate. They need about a 7% return, and because they suppress the interest rates just like the suppressed code did, but they suppress interest rates in the suppressed coefficient. It kills everybody. It's killing everybody. So for the young at heart and all this, the way out of this is to be an entrepreneur. You don't need the stock market to make money. You don't need the real estate market to make money. But the real advantageous thing here is this little cell phone. We can take ideas like books and games and things like this and create our own and then ships it out to the world. Ken McClory also believes the same. He said that once the forbearance period ends, a tidal wave of property is going to hit the market. It's going to go to the banks. It's going to get listed and the supply and the inventory are going to jump way up. What's going to happen is that supply is going to drive prices down because it's going to be high supply, low demand. Now there's low supply, high demand. The correction is coming and what you do to prepare for you decide to make. This will be the biggest real estate opportunity in your life, but only if you are prepared as per Ken. There will be policy changes, there will be tax changes, there will be social reforms, but the bottom line is we are still going to have a lot of people lose their homes. We are still going to have lots of renters that can't afford to pay their rent. We are still going to have lots and lots of businesses that do not make it, as many of which have filed for bankruptcy already. That is, of course, if the government doesn't start throwing money at this problem, kicking the forbearance and the payments down the road, kicking the evictions down the road, and all the things that they are doing right now to artificially inflate the economy with the government money. This is where the real estate markets that will crash. We had 2.1 million people that were 90 days plus due on their mortgages, and there were 8.8 million late on their rent facing some kind of eviction. What's important is this 90-day issue. There was going to be about 1.5 million to 1 million 7 listings hit the market. What this does not measure are the people that are still delinquent, taking advantage of that forbearance that is less than 90 days but are still delinquent. So let's talk about what some of the options are for those people that are right now in financial trouble. So let's just focus on the mortgages and this experience going back to the 2008. The first one is that they stay and they pay if they can. The second one is the traditional short sale. We saw a lot of these in 2008 when mortgages were higher than the values of the home. Basically how that works is that the lender works with the buyer to discount that mortgage. So let's say the lender has a $200,000 mortgage on a home and a buyer says that he will give you $150,000. Then the lender takes the $50,000 discount and the buyer gets the home for $150,000 and then takes over the payments. A third option is just to completely walk away, and this happened a lot in 2008. It doesn't look like that is going to happen right now because generally people have quite a bit of equity in their homes. And this housing run has been very good for many people. However, we called it jingle mail in 2008, which meant that they just dropped the keys in the mailbox and they walked away. It hurt a lot of people's credit, and then they eventually had to end up paying some tax as well, as it relates to those lenders getting rid of those mortgages. The fourth one is a refinance. Now the only way that you can refinance is if you have good credit, if you have income coming in from a stable job. So a lot of people that maybe got disrupted or started new businesses or started new jobs, they are probably going to have a little bit more difficulty on this refinance piece. This is going to be very interesting. They are going to want to go to the banks and say, would you refinance? The banks are now going to have to be in a position to decide, do they want to make another bet on those people that they already lent to that are in the homes that they have already? And how do they want to handle that moving forward is a big question. The fifth one is called a deed in lieu, and this is a way that you can avoid foreclosure. And the bank takes back your house, but you have to negotiate with that. So they take back the deed instead of foreclosure. And what the homeowner is trying to do is not ruin their credit, and the bank is trying not to go through the foreclosure process. Then the sixth way, of course, is your traditional loan modification. So if you have missed payments over a long period of time and they are stacking up, you are going back to the bank and asking them to technically modify your loan. This is a loan modification. Again, there's a process to that. They are going to dig into all your stuff and then you can either extend the term. In some cases, you could throw it on the back. In some cases, they might take it on your payment. So this is your traditional loan modification. But what's gonna happen is that you are gonna have to present all your information and the bank's going to want to have to bet on you again to stand on the house as they modify your loan. 8.8 million late people are facing eviction on their rent now. Most people think this just has to do with apartments. If a renter is not paying you, then it's very possible that you might not be paying the lender and so on. So actually some people think this number is a lot higher, but according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, right now it's at 8.8 million people. Now Robert explained that 6 million homeowners in forbearance. Before they can receive stimulus money, forbearance means they need to requalify for the loan. They don't just get the money automatically, they have to requalify. If they lost their job or lost their credit, they may lose their homes as well. In other words, if you have lost your job in this pandemic, which is fake, and you are losing your home, it's in forbearance. But you have lost your job, the bank's still not going to give you the money. It's an opportunity for investors. It's sad news for homeowners and businesses and the country, because if 6 million people are homeowners in America and forbearance, that's a lot of people actually. So guys, here is the end of this video. Now I would request you all to please let me know on what topic do you want me to create videos for you. And in the meantime, press that like button, also subscribe to this beautiful channel. I'll catch you in my next video.